Jalen Hurts and the Eagles?
Rich, no one will come out and say it, but my understanding is Jalen Hurts is expected to be the starter for the Eagles through the balance of the season. And there was a lot to like in his debut last week. First of all, poised. This is exactly what they thought when they scouted and played college football at the highest level. The moment was not too big for him, and the players really took to that. He acted like he belonged. And then maybe most important, no sacks. He threw the ball away 4 times, 1 read. He simply took off with his feet, was as athletic as they thought, really kept the offense moving, Mooch, and they're expected to see a lot more of him going forward.
All right, welcome to Lowe's home studio, Irv. Yeah, what a game he had in his debut, huh?
Boy, what a game. What's the stories? We got this is a good one here, Kurt.
Let's go to Kurt over there. Kurt, will Jalen Hurts continue his success today against the Cards?
Well, fellas, I want to see more. Is that, he was tremendous last week, getting thrown in there and just being a playmaker. He made so many plays with his legs, which we know that he can do. But at some point, we're going to have to see more inside the pocket. So can he repeat that? I don't think he's going to repeat a 100-yard rushing day. But can he continue to make plays? Without a doubt. Every opportunity he's gotten, whether it was at Alabama or Oklahoma, now in the NFL, he has shown he's a playmaker. I want to see how complete he is as a quarterback. But I expect him to play well again today.
In this situation, what we've been talking about for quite a while, it's about making plays, but it's also about leading men. And we've addressed it, and we've glazed over it. But there's something going on. Miles Sanders said this, and guys, Miles Sanders said this after the game, talking about Jalen Hurts. He's so confident, and he's a natural leader, Miles Sanders said. We just needed that, and he gave us that spark to start from last week. That's not just lifting Jalen Hurts. That's saying something about what they had prior to Jalen Hurts. When he added, we just needed that. I know we'll get into deeper conversations about that later on. But one of the things I do believe that people are having to start thinking about, maybe they say, okay, does he run well enough so that we got to keep somebody around and spy on him? Or can we just drop back and say, let us see if he can pass on us? But we got to investigate all of this, Kurt. I want to come back to you later in the show.
Yeah, absolutely.
We'll talk about this some more.
Well enough to spy on him. Some teams are double spying some of these young quarterbacks. He
Yeah,
had over
they run
100
like
yards rushing and a touchdown pass. That's never happened before in anybody's debut. He was really sensational, and now he's playing against Kyler Murray, a guy that's similar in a dual threat. And so we'll have to wait and see. He's going to be excited. He's a good kid. And we wish him all the best, okay? And now
We're against the Falcons this Week 15 tilt, as you can see in the ATL, which is where James Slater is standing by. Good Sunday, Week 15 to you, James.
Hello, Rich, and you as well. Well, the Bucs are eyeing their first playoff run since 2007, and they're doing it with Tom Brady at the helm. I asked their offensive coordinator, Byron Leftwich, what does Brady bring to this team in the month of December? And he was quick to say experience. He's seen everything. He's been through everything. At 43, he's been in this league 20 years. He's played nearly 300 games and efforted 38 comebacks. In fact, when I asked Brady about it himself during the Zoom call, he held up a notebook that was about 3 times this size, guys. And he said, you would think we're building rockets with all the information in here. And he has all of it. In fact, it was interim Falcons head coach Raheem Morris who said, I hate him. I think a lot of people do when you consider what he's done. He'll have to adjust today without his running back, Ronald Jones, which means they'll lean on Leonard Fournette a bit. But if they want to throw it, they should do it against this Falcons passing D that's giving up the 3rd most yards in the league. Rich?
Tom Brady, not a popular guy in Atlanta, just let's put it that way. So we've got a 15th week of the NFL season. And the 15th time, I think I'm asking you this question, Kurt. What's Tom Brady and the Buccaneers' biggest issue? What do you have?
To me, Rich, it's really just about efficiency. Is that, we've seen great moments here and there, but they can't stack it together. And it's one of those things where they're running out of time. You thought maybe after the bye they'd get things going, but last week it was up and down once again. And so that to me is, I know they've got the players. I know they've got Tom Brady and they've had their moments. But unless they start stacking these things together, I'm worried that this team is going to struggle come playoff time.
And again, they're going to see each other twice over the next 3 weeks, starting today in Atlanta, the 7th meeting all-time of 2 MVP quarterbacks who faced each other previously in a Super Bowl. So We're expected to see Zeke Elliott today, a game-time decision for Mike Gesicki, who had 2 touchdown catches last week for the Dolphins. We're expecting to see Colt McCoy against his former team tonight, starting for the Giants. And Matthew Stafford, rib and thumb injuries, questionable all week. He is expected to go Week 15, meaning fantasy football playoffs. Kay Adams, good morning to you. Yeah,
Let's
I know.
go!
I know. If only some of us didn't bench Josh Allen yesterday because they think Kyler's going to have a big day today, but that's not you. That's I know.
Oh.
I know. But I'm done kicking myself. I'm now asking you. It's the semifinals of a lot of fantasy leagues. So again, this is big time stuff. If anybody needs a last-minute sleeper, they're depending on you here, Kay. Who do you have?
I don't necessarily hate your Kyler pick. We'll get to that in a moment with my stack of the day. But first, let's go with some sleepers for you. Holy volume Brandon Ayuk, a absolute nightmare on the field. I am loving him today. 16 targets last week. Can you tell I had a lot of coffee and I'm excited about getting you guys to your fantasy championship? Let's go. Averaging 11 targets a game over the last 5. Debo's out. And what have we here? A tilt against the team that's given up the second most fantasy points to wide receivers all year? It's a gift from the fantasy gods. Ayuk gets the Cowboys. Book your ticket to your fantasy championship. Okay, J.K. Dobbins. You gotta love the matchup, people. The Jaguars among the most generous defenses on the ground through the air all year. The Ravens are back. They should get a lead early. I'm thinking game script's gonna be in his favor, giving him plenty of carries to be had. He scored, by the way, in 3 straight games, looking for his 4th touchdown in a row. I like him over Zeke Elliott today. Yeah, I said it. Top 15 performance, week 15 for Dobbins. And Lynn Bowden. Now, sometimes the name of the game in fantasy football is simply opportunity. Devontae Parker should go. Mike Gesicki might not. Jakeem Grant already out there. All question marks. None of them are 100% today. Bowden racked up 7 catches for 82 yards on 9 targets in their absence last week. So keep your eyes and ears right here on Game Day Morning for the latest from Ian Rappaport. But in a daily lineup, I'm all about Lynn Bowden. I also have a weird feeling, Rich, that it's a Jared Cook kind of day. It's a Taysom Hill, Jared Cook touchdown situation against the Chiefs. I would find a way to find him a home in your daily lineup. Okay, now fantasy stack of the day. What do you have for me for the daily crowd? Let us go down to the desert and have an I. Hopkins stack of pancakes. So that's where we're going. Kyler Murray, your guy that you're playing, I think he's a bit of a value. He looked healthy. He had 13 rushing attempts up against the Giants, coming off a great game. I mean, he's got 712 rushing yards, 10 rushing touchdowns. That's what you're paying for in daily fantasy. Invest in that. This week it's the Eagles. I like him and Hopkins. Even add Drake to that. I feel like you're going to zig when everybody else zags. Nobody trusts Kenyon Drake. So let's just get a little feisty here in Week 15, shall we? Yes, indeed. Certainly, again, feisty as I stared at my bench, stared a hole straight through my bench. But I just thought, again, Kyler's got a big home matchup against the Eagles and so on. And I do have DeAndre as well. Wake up every single weekday with Kay and the rest of the Good Morning Football gang, 7 a.m. Eastern, right here on NFL Network. That rolls on. Jalen Hurts' debut as a starter went about as well as Eagles fans could have hoped. They upset the Saints. What about today?